in very, very perilous times. And people have mastered the art of always knowing when to wear the mask. And that is not the physical, literal mask. This is people can be two different characters depending on what their aim and their goal is. For example, people can join you in, let's say you are performing a particular task or offering a particular service. And so you have a crowd of many people who are like, yeah, team support or anything. But maybe the only reason they're following because at the end of it, maybe you're offering a particular thing, a certificate, a reward, whatever it may be. Once they get it, everyone is gone. You're left thinking, yikes, where did everyone go? People can be able to woo you and tell you, hey, we together in this movement, let's do this, let's jump, let's. When that time comes, you turn left, you turn right, yep, you're the one who's going to be used as an example. We are living at a time whereby most people claim to desire a solid, healthy relationship, but they themselves are very toxic and they're not willing to change their ways or amend. However, they will say it, they will express it, and people will buy into it until you get into their life and realize, yikes, is this the devil's daughter or something close to that? Because the things they are doing and the face they have, you're thinking, no one will ever believe me. Especially if you are with someone who's well kept and everything, margin of error cannot be seen and everything. You really don't know people. Actually, sometimes people say the bad girl is safer than the innocent girl, because sometimes the bad girl can see all the crazy things they're doing. The innocent one, you just don't know what the intensity of they're kicking. Either because they never got the opportunity, or either because they've mastered the art of being able to be different people, to be the good girl, the good church girl, the good daughter to their parents, the good girl to their siblings. And only very few people, and just by chance, who are able to tell, that's literally the devil's daughter walking right before you. And by the time you're going through some horrific things, even when people say this girl did ABCD or this guy did ABCD, people say, nope, you had to have done something, and you did nothing. Because as we go through this world we are living in with technology, we are able to read and understand many things. So if you're a guy, you're able to see, so this is what women want and like. You go through the comment section like, okay, fine. You notice the same narrative is in many places, so you make an assessment, say, maybe this is how they achieve. So this I'll avoid. If you go to the male side, men say, women, we want ABCD. You're thinking, okay. So this time, I'll avoid 1, 2, 3, so I'll approach it this way. Whether it's politics, so like, so this move doesn't work. Failed last time. It costed ABCD lives. Change of strategy. So in everything, because of technology, people share and share and share. Well, okay, whether the intent is good or bad, you never really know. Information is information depending on how you pick it. There's biased information, there's true information, there's propaganda. You need discernment to be able to filter out and figure out which is which. But the truth of the matter is, information is there in plenty. And you need to be very careful and cautious, because there are people who have really mastered this art of being able to understand all these different things and adapt to all these climates. If, for example, you're someone who has gone through traumatic events, you've already mastered how to be able to be a different person for a different place, because the first time you didn't put any shocks to protect you. Now you got hurt. You're not going to accept the next person. And that's why toxic relationships now are very complicated. Why? There are people who are either victims of abuse or the abusers themselves, who have understood the power of being able to be different characters, and they know how to lure, and you never even figure them out easily. You might notice a small red flag, but you'll be like, maybe that's being protective, maybe that's just being caring. But that protective may not be really protective. It may be obsessive, but you're like, whatever. In that moment you say that whatever, You need to be very careful. It's sad that you have to be hyper vigilant sometimes, but sometimes you just have to put a pinch of salt in everyone. Approach everyone with a pinch of salt, because there's nothing painful as betrayal from someone very close to you. Because when that thing happens, if you live to tell the story, you're never the same again. So discernment is very important. And for those who don't believe in prayer, good for you. That's okay with you. But for those who believe in prayer, trust me, you will need it, because you're dealing with spiritual issues that no matter how smart you think you are, you can't beat it. You can go through the best education system, the this and that. But one relationship, one business partnership will hit you hard. People put masks. You can see a content creator or a celebrity or an influencer, whoever it may be, on screen, and you vibe with what they are. And then you meet them and try to bring what was vibing, and they're looking at you like you're about to steal their purse or phone or something, thinking, yikes, I thought you are that person, but that. They normally say, never meet your hero. And many people never get to understand, because it's true. Because you get to see their flaws. You see, when the camera is running, when the lights are on, when it's time to press play, you can be anyone and anything for that few moments. When the screen goes off, you're back to your nature. And that's why some people wonder, how does a celebrity 1, 2, 3, 5 have all the money and is literally wasted on drugs? Because when they are on screen, whoever is the producer, whoever are the director, they have so many cuts into that particular film or whatever production they're doing that person. You never get to see those parts, because the editor is really working round the clock to get their perfect edits. And maybe in a 1 hour amazing, 1 hour, they've really messed up, but they had 20 minutes of that was good to capture. And that person is presented to you as the most amazing, and they have people right by their side to tell them, hey, behave, do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, behave. And they do it. Just like politician, you'll see a politician well kept everything, and then behind the scenes you come here, the kind of parties they are in and the stuff they do, are thinking that doesn't make sense. It's because it's easy to be different places. There's one thing people never understand. When people have money and influence, no one checks the grammar. Nobody checks the grammar of someone who is in power. But be someone who's not in power, people will check everything, the vowels, everything. But when you have the money, no one checks the grammar. It's important to be careful and to discern. People are not who they say they are. Friends are not. You can be with a friend and they invite you to an event or a home or anything, and you may be the target of that day. That's how people have been taken advantage of. You went to meet your friends. Maybe you're a lady, went to meet your friends with a girl, and maybe their boyfriend and her had a plan against you, and then they end up doing something to you. Either they spike you, and then they do stuff to you, and then when you realize, they tell you, dare you speak, you will see. We know everything about you. And now others are even going to the extreme where their friends are taking the other friends when they're having their, taking showers or their private moments and selling to their people. It's kind of messed up world we are living in right now. And you need to be very careful and cautious. So if you get that invitation, hey, I'm coming for this party or anything, yeah, you might want to reconsider those invitations. You might want to reconsider every event. You might want to reconsider everything. Pray about it. Discern. Ask yourself, would God really want me to be in this place? And if God wants me to be in this place, is it really the right time, or is it me who's trying to push God with my agenda because I feel there's a crowd or anything? Pray. Discern. The times are wicked. And with all this high-level occultism going on in the world, and bitterness and anger and vengeance and toxicity, you want to approach everyone with a pinch of salt, even your own parents, your siblings, your children, your partners, because you never know the day when they'll say, we don't need you. Micah 7 says, if the enemy of someone's household is his own people, the one who's close to them. So be very careful and discern the times. We'd want to imagine a perfect world. We all wish that can be. But how perfect is this world when one country wakes up and decide, we don't need that country, either because they want the resources or they just don't like it. We wish the world was beautiful and was amazing. But what do you do when someone just wakes up and decides to eliminate everybody in their household? We wish things were easy, and then you wake up and realize that little girl or that little boy you saw at the restaurant was actually trafficked. And you're thinking, yikes, the child was just waving at me like they were scared. And I thought, and then you see it on news or somewhere like, I know that kid. That's the world we live in, where you should be very careful and should be very cautious. It is sad where we are right now, but people don't care. I think what the 2020, when the lockdown, I think what happened is it brought out people's true characters. Pre-lockdown, people had found ways and styles to manage their lies, deception. There was money in the market, free flowing. Someone had money, at least. When lockdown happened, everyone was stuck in a bubble. And that bubble was bursting because it was new to people. Second, the extreme measures that were taken. Third, you are now reliant on a government, which is scary. Then you're reliant on the person who was next to you. And then there were the issues of isolating people because maybe this person has it or that person has it, I have it. At the end of the day, it messed up people. That was the day when some people realized this is actually their partner, their true partner, because now their partner had no escape route where they could go ball or friends to meet. They were stuck in that. That's when people came to realize the kind of people they married or in a relationship, because people's true colors came out. And now, after the lockdown, domestic violence went up, people separated, sadly many passed because of the violence. But then many people realize, now I can be two different people. In case the next lockdown ever happens, it won't catch me where the last time caught me. Either one was a victim or they are the perpetrators. And that's why you need to be very careful. Not every relationship expert is a relationship expert to everyone. They can be to you. Remember, coaches don't play. They can give you all the best advice, take it and move. But they can be animals to the people close to them. Not everyone who gives the best sermon does the application in their home. They could be giving the best sermon and it can move you to places you never knew. But the people around them only see a beast moving around. It's just like many people within the medical field. They warn you, don't drink, don't do drugs, don't do this, don't do that. When 3/4 of them have all those things that they told you never to do. We need to be very careful and to discern the time and times. A politician will never give a crap about their people. We are just a number, a statistic where they can be able to go to their campaign and say, hey, I have X amount of people from this region, these demographics. And if you can be able to buy in, 20% of them and be able to have a controlled opposition, yada, yada, we have numbers, we can be able to move and do whatever we want and nobody will notice that we did wicked stuff. And they shake hands and they make their deals and you have demonstrations or protests or anything only to come to realize that the so-called leaders of these so-called protests were actually bought. You see, this is why it gets easy. I always ask this very simple question. I'm not anti-protesting. I am more of, I want to investigate who is the leaders. How do they make their money? Sometimes you look at some of their dressing, you're like, this is quite expensive. You look at the machines, I'm like, okay. And then the person who's protesting with them literally is walking, has taken one public transportation to another. But the one protesting lives in a high-flying kind of area. So you're thinking, is it me? Or is there a power play here I don't understand? And the other thing many people keep forgetting is when these phones, accessories, cameras are put down, everybody goes back to their factory settings. And that means people become who they really are. They can be very good on camera. They can be very good on speech. They can be very good on their content. They can be very good on everything. But on these phones and accessories are put aside, you see the real person. Some are who they are on camera, but most of them, as I've come to learn, they're two different people. Someone will say they want to promote a community where you can be open and everything, but they are not. And you also need to understand that at the same time, abusers are in between the mix. Or people within, if you are fighting a system, you need to understand the intelligence community is anywhere and everywhere. In fact, they're part of the people helping you demonstrate, because they want to see how many numbers they can pull and how many people are blind enough to take their bait. They're everywhere and anywhere. We are living in a global system whereby every word you utter, everything you say, you must be very careful, because you never know who's going to either knock the door or pull the door down. It's important to understand that many people are wearing masks, and they have mastered when to wear the mask. It's like when you're doing your editing. What do? You have to look for the perfect shot. How many times do you look at, let's say, short videos versus the full clip? And the short video has something that woo you. When you go to the original video and trying to look for that section that these words were said, you don't find it. Why? Because an editor has been able to fine-tune a full 1 hour clip and reduce it to 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 6 minutes. A lot of cutting and adding and cutting and adding and cutting and adding until they got their masterpiece. When you go to the full version, you are looking for it, you're like, this thing is not in the original version. It's when you look at a trailer and you look at the original movie. The trailer shows you style, you are like, wow. When you go to the full movie, I'm thinking, I just finished a full movie and I just didn't see the things I saw on the trailer. Because the trailer is the marketer, is the one to woo you. It's like clickbait. You see this wording or this picture, like, whoa, this is like an expose or something. Then you get in and like, really? Did I just go? And then now you realize it's called clickbait. You just became the fish who took the bait. The thing is, people are surviving. You say surviving is winning, right? People are doing everything to survive. You need to ask yourself, how far is too far? And if they really have to survive, what are they willing to lose or not to lose? You need to be very careful with where you go, who you associate with. You can associate with someone, and then when someone is seeking vengeance, they assume you're all part of it. So this business of when people are taking all photos, yeah, they're selfie with you, camera, you need to be very careful. Or events are there and there you are. When you're called for an event there, you are running like a headless chicken. You need to be very careful. We are living in very wicked times. And you don't know what the person next to you has done to the other people. And you could be a victim of situation or circumstance just because of association. Many people have lost their lives because of association. They have been poisoned. They have been done all manner of things just because of association with someone. And they were innocent. They were invited to a cookout. They invited to come have a meal, a dinner, a brunch, a meeting, a conference, something, only for them to be a victim because of association. So it's important to know that as much as we are a community, as much as we're different people, and we all want to network and get to know, caution is advised. Treat everyone and every situation with a pinch of salt, because you really don't know anyone at all. People are wearing masks. People have learned to be different. People have learned and mastered how to be different personality to survive. People are surviving. This is the question. If many people are surviving, what do you think they're capable of doing to protect their survival? Who do you think you are? And what do you think they want to do to you for them to survive? Because the world is not what we think we see. The politicians, 3/4 of them are just puppets. They go back to their campaign and tell them, hey, the X amount of money you gave me, I pushed this and this policy. Why is my other promotion? Either depending on the deals they made, either they're told fine or they're taken out of the equation because now their value is diminished. We need to be very careful with what we say, to whom you say, why you say it, how and when. And sometimes, just sometimes, it is better to be a fool and stay away from many things and be alive to see that day. Because unless you want to be another statistic, you want to be careful. People are who they want to project, but not who they are. Social media amplifies the dark characters in people. It amplifies. Power amplifies the true nature of an individual. Money amplifies the true nature of a person. So the question is, if this person was amplified by whatever factors that were there, who are they really? And what are they really capable of doing? Treat everyone with a pinch of salt. Because once people get what they're looking for, they amplify. Power, fame, money, whatever it is, amplifies someone's true nature. So you need to look at it this way. If people are surviving, then what amplifies their survival? That you have to be very careful with. Because people can be anyone and anything at any time that they want, as long as they get what they needed. We amplify our characters once we get what we needed. A person will amplify their true character in marriage 3-4 years after they have made sure that the spouse they already have 2 kids, so they know they have put them where they can't run. Others, they will wait for the guy, and the guy is settled and everything, same thing, have kids, and then they switch on them. Pray, discern. The times are very wicked. The hearts and the intention of the heart is very wicked. It takes the hand and the mercies of God to survive the wickedness and the damages in this world. Nowhere is safe. No one is safe. Even the wicked one themselves are not safe, because there's another person above them who is competing for that same seat they're sitting on. Every politician wants to be a one world order leader. You think the rest will just sit down and wait for one person? They also want that seat. So they do whatever it is to be on that seat. So be very careful with how you live your life. Be very cautious with how you conduct your life. People are surviving. You need to be very careful with what it will take someone to survive, and what they'll do to you for them to survive. Does not mean they're not good people. They are. But treat everyone with a pinch of salt. May God help us. May you be able to discern, and may be able to live, not to be a statistic in this world that you are living in. God be with you.